We often hear that no two snowflakes are exactly the same, so isn't it strange that we treat all students like cookie cutter models of one another? I would like to persuade my audience about why standardized testing should be abandoned. Frederick J. Kelly once said, quote, the inventor of standardized testing once said about the very monster he had created, quote, "These tests are too crude and should be abandoned," end quote. These tests are outdated. They are no longer needed. After doing some research, I hope to persuade you why standardized testing should be abandoned. A standardized test should not be used to judge the quality of information someone is taught. Though standardized testing used to be useful, it now hinders more than it helps people learn.
Here's a modern day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today. And here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today. And here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed.
You are only tested in areas that other people determine to be useful, not something that is actually useful to your future. 2 international tests were created to show how countries compared to each other. One test was called Program for International Student Assessment, or PISA. This tests 15-year-olds. According to Brookings.edu, the United States scored the lowest scores in both 2003 and 2015 on PISA. There wasn't even a significant change in any of their scores. Finland in 2015 scored 511 on the math portion of this test. The other countries in the world averaged about 490. The United States scored 470, the lowest score. Finland has only one standardized test in the whole country. To complete high school, they need to take it to get into college. The United States has hundreds. The ATC and SAT scores are just examples. They're the ones that matter most in American students' lives. But they only really matter if you are trying to get into college, and even then, it isn't always needed. There are colleges that the standardized tests are optional, meaning you don't even have to take a test to get into it. According to PBS.org, there were 850 test optional colleges to choose from, and that was in 2014. Now there are even more. They even hinder the teachers because they have to teach to the test, not to the student. But this can change. Standardized testing can be abandoned. As I've already stated, there are colleges that don't even require standardized testing to get in. There are countries that don't use standardized testing, and they're scoring higher in every field that we're tested on all the time. Without standardized testing, people can learn other stuff than reading, writing, math, and science. I don't really know about other schools, but at Penguich High School, there's very little money that goes into other programs other than reading, writing, math, science, and sports. Our debate team cannot travel at all unless it's to region or state. We have to practice against each other. The drama program at my school is a piece of garbage, to say the least. It's also like debate, where we can only travel to region and state. The curtains on our stage have been there for over 25 years, and the coaches have had to repair them countless of times. It can happen to abandon standardized testing. It is possible to opt out. School is a time for learning, not testing. A child will not really learn if they only remember the stuff they are tested on until 10 minutes after the test. If they can truly learn, then they can do much more stuff. They can go much farther. So let's do something about it. The only way some change ever comes about is if someone takes action. If no one ever does anything, then nothing will ever happen. You can email the state, your state's Department of Education. They all have their contact information on their website. You just have to Google email. Just Google Utah State Department of Education or any other state that you're in and click the first option. It's really not that hard. It's possible to contact the people in the Department of Education too, personally. You just have to find their personal emails or contact their office. In conclusion, let's start thinking of our students more like snowflakes and less like cookie cutter models of each other. Thank you.